Quite disturbing this. The hospital that treated the Princess of Wales has today launched an investigation into claims that at least one member of staff tried to access her medical records.
That's right. One insider told the Mirror that the palace was immediately informed, but it's incredibly damaging for the clinic, which has also treated former presidents, prime ministers and celebrities. Well, let's go now to our royal editor, Sara Hewson. Sara, good morning. This is quite unprecedented, isn't it?
Sadly, it's not, actually, and we can talk about that in a moment, Nicola. But you may remember back in 2012, there was, again, a data breach when the Princess of Wales, then the Duchess of Cambridge, was in hospital while pregnant with Prince George. But this is extremely serious if these allegations are true, because what is claimed is that a member of staff or several members of staff tried to access the Princess of Wales's private medical information during her 13-day stay at the London clinic following abdominal surgery. Now, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a member of the royal family or if you are, the most famous person in the world. You are still entitled to medical privacy. In fact, it is a criminal offence for a member of staff within an NHS or private medical setting to try and access medical information without permission. And so now there is an investigation by the London clinic. The Information Commissioner's Office is investigating as well. Kensington Palace not giving any comment at the moment, saying this is a matter for the London clinic. But I think this is really, really serious indeed, and yet another twist in what has been a very difficult time for the royal family.
Sara, great to have you on. Thank you so much indeed. You know me, I'm a royalist, but the first thing that went to my head, which might be right or wrong over this, was interesting timing for this to be released, isn't it?
I don't know about that, Jeremy. I mean, I don't know whether this has been circulating for some time. Obviously, we're told that Kensington Palace were made aware as soon as the allegations were raised. Why this is coming out now, we don't know. Whether it has been known about and they've been trying to keep it under wraps, I don't know. But it is very, very serious indeed, because, you are at your most vulnerable when you are in hospital.
And you make a really good point. It's not about being a royal princess. We can talk about the wider ramifications of what's going on. That's for anybody. You've just been in hospital having a baby. My wife's been in hospital having a baby. These are moments, as you quite rightly say, where our people are at their most vulnerable, basic, whatever, and it should absolutely never happen. And for a hospital like that, as it said in the introduction, that prides itself on, the privacy aspect, presidents, politicians, famous people, not a great look at all, sir.
No, and of course this is also the hospital where King Charles went for treatment on his enlarged prostate at the same time as his daughter-in-law was in hospital. Former Prime Ministers, Clement Attlee was treated there, the Prince Philip, Princess Margaret, the Queen. David Cameron, the Foreign Secretary, was born at the London clinic. It prides itself on discretion. That is why it attracts such high-profile clients, and this will be extremely damaging. But it's not really about the hospital's reputation now, is it? This is about an individual and their private medical information with somebody, it seems, accused of trying to get that information for what we can only imagine is financial gain.
Yep. I was going to say, Sara, do we know anything at all about what they were trying to do? Was it a case of nosiness, or do we know of any reports of them trying to sell those records to a newspaper who presumably would not be allowed to...
No newspaper would buy it,
yeah, exactly. No newspaper would buy it. So I just wonder what the, what the incentive might have been.
Yeah, I mean, we can only imagine what the incentive has been. And the level of interest in this has been off the charts, hasn't it? Of course, there's going to be a huge amount of interest in the Princess of Wales being admitted to hospital. But just because, there's a public clamour for information doesn't mean actually that the public has a right to know. And that's what's happening here. And that's what Kensington Palace is grappling with, this feverish, febrile speculation online, this constant demand for information. Where is Kate? And as far as they're concerned, she's at home, she's recovering as they set out. She's due to be back, after Easter, and plans certainly being put in place, we understand, for a kind of soft launch of her back into public life. We may even see her walking to church on Easter Sunday with other members of the royal family. But the level of interest in this, I think, has shocked everybody.
You were on with us, I think, last week, and we were talking about that level of interest, which has been fed, obviously, by the woman that she is and the changes that she's made in America the other day. You were away, but Googling for Trump and Biden is not as many people as those Googling to know what's happening to Kate. Lots of conspiracy theorists, we've talked about that. People writing terrible stuff, leave her alone, let her get on. But, of course, this is another unwanted thing today, isn't it? The hospital records. She was seen at the weekend at Windsor Farm Show. Everybody's jumped on the bandwagon. Kevin Peterson, the cricketer, was said overnight to say, I see them every week, I live there. No, you don't, Kevin. You live 6 miles away. I know that. Everybody seems to be piling in. Presumably now, bit of peace and quiet, bit of tranquility, get fully better and come back into the public eye. That's what they want, right?
That was the aim, and it really hasn't happened. And actually, today's story brings back some really tragic memories, doesn't it? I mentioned 2012 when the then Duchess of Cambridge was in hospital with severe morning sickness, and there was the prank phone call made by 2 Australian DJs to the King Edward VII Hospital trying to get information. They posed as the Prince of Wales and the late Queen then, and were put through to the Princess of Wales's nurse, and the nurse who'd initially taken that call subsequently went on to take her own life. So the most tragic consequences from that attempt to get information, even if it was done as a joke. I mean, this is really serious indeed. Trying to get someone's personal medical information, regardless of who they are, is very serious. And as I said, it is a criminal offence, and there are investigations underway.
Sarah, do you think that this latest scandal goes to show how popular Kate and William still are, even though there have been a lot of criticism of the way perhaps the Prince of Wales has dealt with this, you know, allowing for his wife to essentially been thrown under the bus by that Photoshop claim, which is what a lot of people are saying. But the fact that it's, you know, still the front page of pretty much every newspaper here in front of us, does it show that they are popular still?
Yeah, it does. And I think actually a lot of the criticism's been directed at Kensington Palace, at the aides who are employed to advise these two, because, you know, the suggestion being that, well, the Princess of Wales doesn't necessarily know that you're not able to issue manipulated photographs to news agencies. But yes, I think it does speak to just how popular and how much interest there is in this couple, not just here, but all around the world. And actually, there was some YouGov polling for Sky News yesterday, which showed that actually the Prince and Princess of Wales are still the most trusted members of the royal family, despite the controversy over the photo editing, for example. They are extremely popular. You know, they're being talked about on US chat shows. Yes, it's not the way they want to be talked about, but there is a huge, huge level of interest in this couple. That's not always easy to deal with, and I think that is certainly one of the greatest challenges for them right at the moment, that in this void where we're not seeing them, this clamour for information and this spread of the most toxic conspiracy theories, which, you know, we can't repeat because they're just so mad.
They're dreadful. Sarah, listen, thank you so much. She flew back last night. She's on here now. She's coming in here later. You're an amazing lady. Thank you very much indeed.